I would just get rid of that. Just do a quick surprise live stream actually to test a few things here. I'm at a sort of remote location. Just get the chat going as well, you guys. That's it, that's all working there, great. Yeah, ask any questions you want, I say on the channel, whatever. Also on the sport glides and the Softails. So I'll just give you a quick heads up what's going on. I say, you know, with the channel, got say lots of videos coming, really planning for next year now. Already got programmed videos for February into mid-late February already, and there will be more coming very shortly. Just starting to do a few online interviews now with various people, so check those out. They'll be coming out from July, 1st, 2nd of July, not July, sorry, January, 1st, 2nd of January, they'll be coming out as well. So that's really good, and I'm making contacts with lots of people at the moment, not just from the UK but all over the world actually, and see, you know, about sharing their experiences online and just have a general chit chat really about different things. So we'll be taking that show that it's called Oh My Harley, and where I'm asking a series of questions based on Harley, riding, bikes, culture, lifestyle, that kind of thing. But let me just check here as well. Sorry, where? So we'll be taking that show, which I'll be doing online, also out and about with me as well. So if you want an in-person interview, whoever you are, if you ride a Harley, and especially if you've got a Softail and you want to appear on video on the channel, then get in touch. Get in touch via the website. That'd be really good. Okay, so I don't think many people are about to, so I didn't really let everybody know that I was doing this either. So that's it. I just wanted to test this area here. Hold on, let's just get rid of that. Get rid of that. There we go. Right. Yeah, so we've got a couple of viewers in. That'd be good. I say, ask any questions you want about the Harleys, about the Softails, or any of the videos that I've produced recently. Let me just get rid of that. But I say there have been quite a few videos that I've made discussing certain technical aspects as well, which is there have been some interesting comments coming through as well, which is really good. People asking away. I think the last one which I did, one of the comments was, I can't remember the exact wording, but it was something about the engine temperature sensors, and what, you know, that's not really giving the rider any engine temperature information. That's true. The engine temperature sensor is not for the rider. The engine, that is purely for the ECM. So that information is fed into the ECM, then it works in conjunction with all the other sensors on the bike to look about how much fuel is required, what the ignition timing is, the spark timing is required, and that's where the engine temperature sensor comes in. It also works for the EITMS as well, for knocking out the rear cylinder if you're in stationary traffic in hot temperatures as well. So, you know, there's lots of things like that. Right, hold on. I seem to keep on losing my chat. There we go. I've got it back again. Let me just say, ask any questions. There we go. And there we go. Hi, Joker. Yoka? Is that Yoka or Joker? Anyway, hello, how are you? Bought my Sport Glide with 130 miles. When I hit an imperfection on the road or a reflective marker, the bike wobbles. Is this a Harley issue or Sport Glide issue? Okay, that's an interesting one. There shouldn't. At what speed are you hitting hitting the imperfections in the road and some kind of wobbles. If there's a kind of a line, a gouge in the road, and sometimes any bike will have a little bit of a wobble. But if you're getting that, the two things I would check first of all: your rear suspension setup, and to see what preload you've got it on, how much weight you're carrying on the load on the rear as well. If you've got the bags full of kit, and because then that could cause being very light on the front tire, and then you can have a bit of speed wobbling. Anything that displaces the bike when you ride along, that can make it get even worse if you're heavy on the rear. So you may have to readjust your preload adjustment for heavy rear as well. But look about that. Okay, 65 miles an hour. It didn't wobble with my sport bike. Okay, with sport bike, it's going to be a slightly different thing because that's going to have a different rake and trail on it as well. And also with a sport bike, you are naturally, weight is more forward as well. So you're actually putting weight on the front tire. So that's why on a cruiser bike, it's naturally more from mid to rear weight as well. So you've got to watch out for that. If it isn't any of those things, if the preload adjustment on the rear is fine, then you need to look at steering, your steering bearings as well. See if that's the case. I would imagine that if it's a brand new bike with only 130 miles, there's not going to be a technical issue with it. I think it's more of a setting. You've got a setting issue with it, or you're carrying a lot of weight on the back. Now, there's also something as well. You want to check your tire pressures, especially on the front. Make sure that they're not over or under inflated for what it is, because of the rake of the Sport Glide as well. There is a certain point where if you hit a certain type of object, there is a heavy snap compression on the front suspension, and it can create a kind of a bounce effect. So if you're not used to it, it can cause a bit of a wobble as well. But so just check that out first of all, and try not to ride over wobbly bits or reflector markings in the road. It is one of those things. Cruisers do tend to be more susceptible to any kind of wobble than a sports bike, let's say, or an adventure bike, because more of the weight is centralized or off the front tire. So if you are getting that, the way to do that is lean into the bike. If you lean into the handlebars like that, that will actually put more weight, your body weight, more forward, and you'll reduce the speed. It's just like dealing with a speed wobble, more with that. So even if you do ride over an imperfection on the road, it's going to be more stable for you. Have loose control, but more stable. I hope that helps. I think it's worth checking out. But check your rear suspension settings and your tire pressures as well. That's a good one. Right, okay. So there's some other things coming soon on the channel. Next year, early next year, as I say, I've got a whole new series of videos coming about the Sport Glide and the Softail specifically, sort of technical videos. I've also got these interviews which I'm doing with people from all around the world and locally as well. There'll be more motor vlogs, more taking the bike to different places, sort of showing, especially if you're not from the UK, showing different parts of the UK. There's also going to be more riding challenges as well going on for next year as well. James, hello, how are you? The road reflectors are a hard, slick plastic. Wonder if he's feeling a slight slip. Yeah, I mean, that is definitely a good point there, James. Yeah, I avoid riding over any reflectors in the road as much as possible. If they're wet as well, that can create, tire slippage or anything like that. Any sort of painted surfaces or anything, especially if you're banking the bike or accelerating or braking, that's another one. But if you can avoid riding over those kinds of things in the first place, that would be better. for you. As I say, sports bikes are more capable of dealing with those kind of compression loads than cruiser bikes. You tend to feel it a lot more in a cruiser than you do on a sports bike, and that's purely down to the rake and trail, the geometry of the bike, and also the way you actually sat on the bike as well. Okay. Right, but so I hope that helps. Anyway, I hope that go and try it out anyway and see how you find out. Right, so the next thing I wanted to talk about is the sorry, I'm just swapping between things here. Yeah, updates on the Sport Glide and the Softails in general. Okay, so there are, I think you can imagine that the 2020 is now going to be dominated by three things really. It's the live wire, a continuation of that. It is also the Pan American, the Bronx. We're going to see a lot more of that information coming through. And in the Softails, we're already seeing some talk of more accessories coming through. And there's definitely more focus to being taken away from the existing Softails already onto the Lowrider S, and that's pretty much hit the ground running. If you have a look at certain channels, let's say like Matt Laidlaw, he's just done a new mock-up or a new customization of a Lowrider S, very similar to the Coast Glide, which he did of the Sport Glide, and he got the new fairing on it and everything. So they've put exactly the same fairing on the Lowrider S, and it looks great actually. I think actually that Lowrider S with that fairing looks better than the Sport Glide with that fairing that he did. So that's just my thing as well. The reflectors here in the use of are frequent, one right after each white line. So, oh yeah, okay. I don't carry a weight in the bag, so believe my settings are correct based on my weight. Okay, so that's interesting then. I wonder why you're feeling that now. Okay, you're on a Sport Glide. The only thing I would say then is check your steering bearings. That's the only thing I would say. Steering bearings and tire pressures. If you're saying that the weight in your suspension setting is right on the rear, that's got to be something. But I say I find this interesting. It's only 130 miles on the bike when you got it, and you're feeling it. So I know it's also my Sports Steel was a Sport Cruiser. Okay, so I sat upright with forward pegs. It's hard for me to distinguish what the problem is, which is why I asked, but thanks for the info. Yeah, okay, well, I'm saying, sorry, I can't be more help, actually. But as I say, get it, if it doesn't improve, then there are two options for you. Go and ride another Sport Glide if you can, and see if it's the same issue. Then it could be that you're just experiencing something that we find normal, the rest of the Sport Glide riders find normal, and we just kind of accept and adapt to it. It could be that you're just getting used to the little idiosyncrasies of that bike, which is different to where you were riding other bikes. Or it could be that there's an issue with your particular bike. In that case, it needs to go back to the Harley dealership. They need to have a look at it, or a mechanic or whoever. Somebody needs to look at it and just verify tire pressures, tire wear, wheel alignment would be another one. Also steering head bearings, suspension settings for the not only settings but function for the rear and the front as well. That might be something that might need to be. I mean, if you had a PDI check on the bike, they would have gone through the whole bike to check everything before you got it anyway. So it's. I mean, is it a 2018, 2019 bike? Is it a brand new bike that you've bought, or is it a used bike as well? A used bike with low mileage. So hopefully, you'll get it sorted out anyway. Right, that's great. Okay, good. Right, yeah. Well, say try riding another one. See, even if you go to a Harley dealership and say, look, I want to go and test ride a brand new one. You know, make some excuse up, say, hey, look, I really fancy, you know, a new Sport Glide. You know, see what it is. But, you know, I think always honesty is the best policy. Just explain to them, this is what you want. You want to go and ride another one. See what they say. You should be all right. Right. Whereabouts in the States are you, by the way? 2019 used. Okay, 2019 with 130. Wow, you got a good deal then. Whereabouts in the United States are you? I know Florida reasonably well. I know California very well. I used to live there, but so that's about it. I know California, especially Northern California, where I was particularly a problem at times with riding motorcycles, especially on freeways and highways, because of a lot of seismic activity, earthquake activity, which would cause minor cracks in the road overnight. So that's where it is. Okay, Florida. All right, yeah, okay. I was there a few months ago in Florida. So yeah, really nice. Lovely part of the world, Florida. Very nice part of the world. Okay, right. Yeah, whereabouts did you get your bike from, if you don't mind me asking? Because I popped into a few dealerships over there when I was over there. Just trying to think which ones they were in. One was Orlando, the Orlando Harley, the main one. Oh, Tennessee. Joe McSee from Tennessee. Hello. Right, yeah, they are. The roads are very smooth there in Florida. I did appreciate it. It's interesting. When I lived in California, the roads are quite rough for that reason, which I said about the earthquake, the seismic activity. There's always shifting in the road over a period of time. I'm talking about. As soon as you cross over the state line, I went into Oregon, smooth as you like. Went into Nevada, smooth as you like. But California, always cracks in the road. But there you go. How's it going, Joe from Tennessee? What's the weather like out there? Is it still nice and warm? You're a little bit further north up there, aren't you? But still quite warm, I would have thought, even this time of year. Yeah, we've just had torrential rain here for the last week, non-stop rain. So lots of flooding, and that's kind of what happens in the UK now in the winter time. It's lots of rain. We have cold periods. So I'm still getting out and about on the Sport Glide, but can't say it's much. It's very pleasant, I got to say. You bought from a small independent motorcycle shop in West Palm Beach, right? Got an incredible deal. Oh yeah, I bet you did. I mean, I'm sure. Did you have a PDI? Did they do a PDI check on it for you? I'm sure they should have done. They should have done. But I would say, and also, do you have you should have a warranty still with that bike, right? You should have a Harley Davidson dealership, a 2-year warranty. So I would say, if you can, if you're not too sure about the independent bike shop which you got it from, then get a second opinion from a main Harley dealer. But I would also go back to your, the independent motorcycle shop which you bought it from, and just, speak to them about it as well. Yeah. West Palm Beach. Yeah. It's now West Palm Beach. I'm just trying to think of who else is down there. There's quite a few. There's quite a few bike shops down there as well, isn't there? Actually, seem to recall. Right, okay, so that's it. So the videos, a lot more videos coming on about the Sport Glide, about technical aspects about the Sport Glide. There will be some more maintenance videos coming out. People are asking me different things about not only the Sport Glide but bikes in general, about Harley Davidsons, and I suppose what I'm doing, I'm applying Harley knowledge, if you like, and motorcycle knowledge from the past, and I'm kind of scratching beneath the surface and finding out which is a better way to do things, or an easier way to do things for you guys, really. And that's the kind of videos which I'm making, or I will be making. So it may be easier for you to understand, or sometimes you look at the owner's manual and it's a little bit unclear. Sometimes you look at a service manual is it unclear? Now, just for your information as well, talking about service manuals, I did a live stream a while ago about new service manuals for the Sport Glides and for the Softail range. Now, I've been led to believe, I heard this again this week, where are we now, Sunday? Yeah, this last week, that Climber are in the process of trying to produce one for the Sport Glides from 2018, it will be to 2000, sorry, for the Softails, I should say, for 2018 to 2020, I believe. Now that could be incorrect, but that's what I've been led to believe as well. But if you want service manuals, they are available online, or you can sign up to the Harley Davidson Service Information Portal, and then you can get information there as well on the servicing if you buy the subscription from Harley Davidson as well. Okay, yes, it's under warranty. However, there's a Harley dealership 5 minutes away from my house. I'm going to go there and ask questions and test ride another. Yeah, I would say it's a sensible thing. At least you've got something to gauge it against. You know, at least you know, okay, my bike's right or my bike's not right. You know, and you know, if anything, get somebody else to test ride it. You know, get one of the techs or one of those guys, or if you know somebody else who rides a Harley, you know, Harley Davidson or a Sport Glide in particular, get them to ride it and see what they think. You know. But right, good. Okay, so yeah, so more tech videos coming out, more sort of basic servicing ones as well. There are going to be a lot more discussion videos coming as well, based around not only Softails and Sport Glides, but also about Harley Davidson in general, about Harley Davidson history. There's some nice, interesting ones which I've made about history of Harley, and also about Harley and partnerships with other manufacturers as well over the years. And so there's a bit of variety coming to the channel as well. Not only just about Sport Glides, there's a bit more variety, and hopefully you'll like that as well. But as I say, there's always going to be I'm going to be doing a lot more live streams in the future, a lot more live Q&A sessions as well. So hopefully they'll get better. They'll get better for you as well. There was let me just try to think here. There was a couple of other videos I wanted to talk about. Just got to go into my archive here. And there was, yeah, so my latest video which I did, which is about the clutch adjuster sheath, and also the rubber seal on top, the gaiter on top, and maybe putting a couple of cable ties on that. That's quite good, and there'll be a few clutch adjustment videos or clutch related videos coming out in the new year as well. The other video which I did recently, the RPM hunting, that's yeah, there's many reasons why RPM hunts, but most of the time it's a natural thing with the Harleys, the M8 engine, I should say, with the M8 engine. So there's lots of issues there. It's good that a lot of the videos that I make, let me just get there. Well, yeah, it's good that a lot of the videos that I make, actually people contact me on the side via the emails or private messaging on sort of social media as well, and asking in particular questions as well. And that's really good, because what that does, it helps to give me a picture of what people are thinking out there, or what information they want to know, and everything as well. Because I could produce a video, 10 videos a day. Yeah, it's going to come back to me. So there's yeah, so there's lots there's lots of, so I lost my train of thought there. There's lots of stuff coming through as well. Well, thank you, Joe. Hope you enjoying it. Yeah. So the questions that I get actually gives me information about what people want to find out as well. So that's good. So keep the questions coming in. Thank you, Joe, for hope you do enjoy them, and I enjoy making them as well, which is good. So curious question for me. Ooh, here we go. I've noticed you don't have any major upgrades on your Sport Glide. No stage ones. Is it because you love it? Okay, very good question. And I was speaking to somebody yesterday, and I was answering exactly the same question. When I bought the Sport Glide, I wanted to do a minimum of 1 year riding it completely stock. I wanted to ride it through every season in the UK and ride it in all kinds of weathers, on all types of roads, all types of journey lengths, different endurance rides, which I'll do, just to test it as a stock bike. Thereafter, as a stock, after the first year, then I'll start considering, minor modifications, I should say. And the modifications will be handlebar height, or change out the handlebars for different height. The other one will be stage 1. I won't go past the stage 1, maximum stage 2, because I just don't, for my sort of riding, I just don't really need it. And the other thing probably would be, the major one would be a seat change and a sissy bar, but that's about it. But the reason I haven't changed or haven't modified anyway, it's because I wanted to do a full year just riding it stock. Now, also the second part of your question is, yes, I do like it stock actually. I like modifications, so I like stage upgrades and things like that. But I actually like stock bikes as well. And I think when you're comparing bikes, stock bikes is actually what you should be comparing to, because it's very hard then to compare modified bikes with other modified bikes. You can, of course, but if you out of the box, that's where the best comparison is, or not the best, but the easiest comparison to make with other bikes as well. Right. Okay. So there are. I'm just going through here, just having a quick look. Yeah. So there are lots, as I say, lots more videos coming, lots more different types of videos, different discussion videos as well. I will be doing a lot more live streams coming as well. As I say, there is going to be more news coming out about the Softails next year, but I think most of it is, by the people I've been speaking to, most of it is all going to be about, well, until next September, October time, when they talk about the 2021 models, of course. But up until that time, it's all going to be about the Pan America, the Bronx, the Live Wire, and then just try. I think what they're doing, Harley are just ticking over. They're ticking over until 2021, and we talked about this before actually. That's why they're really. It's almost like a bit of a gap year. This 2020, they're really waiting for that. I'm going to talk about the Pan America. I think the new direction which Harley Davidson is going, that's going to be the big thing. That's where they're going to be looking to see which direction they take the company, how they respond, not only to other manufacturers, but the biggest manufacturer that's going to challenge the Harley crown is Indian. Whilst they're not the size and they don't have the competitive edge yet, they're the ones who are turning heads right now, and especially in North America, in the United States and Canada. If you're patriotic, you're into brand loyalty, or if you're into patriotic loyalty, let's say, of motorcycle branding, then it's a no-brainer for you. If you're unhappy with Harley, then you're going to go over to Indian. If you like that sort of motorcycle, you're more likely to do that than to dump a Harley and go and buy a Kawasaki or a Suzuki or whatever. So, Indian are in a very strong position right now. and they're in a strong position because they're effectively building much better bikes, technology-wise. Appearances, that's all subjective. It really depends what you like. But technology-wise, they are building better bikes. Now, for us as riders, as Harley riders, actually in many ways that's nothing to be scared of. That's something to be excited about in many ways, because that would force Harley Davidson to produce better products themselves. So, you know, it'd be interesting to see. It'd be interesting to see where they go, what technology they bring out for possibly early 2020, whether they make some upgrades on the Softails, but also for 2021. I'd be very surprised. I think it would be a mistake if they don't change the chassis, the frame on the Tourer models for 2021. They should have done it in 2020. If they don't do it in 2021, I think they will get seriously hurt in the Tourer market. That's my prediction. So my prediction is if they don't change that chassis, they will be seriously hurt. But Softails, I think they've got to look at not necessarily increasing the product, but I think they've got to look at different types of rider, whether certain riders want more technology or they don't, you know, whether they don't. But the big thing now is obviously air-cooled versus liquid-cooled, whether the liquid-cooled engine that's going into the Pan American, the Bronx, and then the low rider or the low custom, whether that is going to be deemed a success, whether people are going to buy into this kind of V-twin liquid-cooled, you know, looking bike, engine rather, whether they're going to buy into the whole new direction Harley going in. Harley are making the small displacement engines. They are going to be making the, you know, the sub 400 cc's in the Far East. It's whether they will continue to do that, and whether any of those bikes will go to the United States or to Europe. So that'd be an interesting one. I personally think that Harley Davidson should look at a lot more smaller bikes, because you've got to think of future riders. You want to attract younger riders. You want to attract younger riders without as much money as older riders who are more established. So, you know, I think they've got to look at that, make a cheaper product, smaller engines, and, you know, attract more riders and the next generation of rider as well. But not only about electric bike riders. You know, they've got to produce different types of electric bikes, move the technology into different bikes. They've got to produce smaller bikes. And, you know, if you look at other manufacturers, most other manufacturers will have the big bikes, your signature bikes, the big engine bikes, the sports bikes, whatever, but they also produce bikes all throughout the range. If you look at Japanese bikes, for example, they're the ones who are selling the most bikes around the world. And the reason is because units, if you consider units, they've got bikes all the way through the range. And the bikes that make them the most money are the small engines, the small displacement bikes. They're the ones that they sell the most units of. But the prestige comes from the big bikes, the big engines, the big sports bikes, let's say. But it's the smaller bikes that actually fund the company. And that's where, you know, Harley, in my opinion, need to get to anyway. Right, anyway, so if that's let's see, that, okay. Unless there are any more questions, as I say, I just wanted to do this quick live stream here, just to go over a few things with you guys. But say, unless there's any more questions, as I say, it was, hope you have a nice Sunday. For you guys in the United States right now, it'll be a Sunday morning sometime. If you're in Australia, it'll be a Sunday night. And if it's around Europe, it's just gone lunchtime. So enjoy whatever you're going to do. Anyway, right, I will catch you again on the next, so lots more videos coming out. There's one released today that can be released every day until the end of the year. And then possibly, well, it'll be a minimum of 3 a week. But I'm going to keep on trying to do daily videos for you, lots of different content, and hopefully you'll continue watching. But say, tell your friends, tell anybody you know to come and watch the videos, and hopefully they'll subscribe, and hopefully they'll get some benefit out of it as well. But there we go. Right, Sarge, hello, how are you? Right, I'm just about to sign off here, but hope you're enjoying the Fat Bob. Hope you're enjoying that, all that. And we must meet sometime on the road somewhere. That'd be really good. Right. But anyway, catch you all again and enjoy. Ta-ra now. Right. Now I've got to remember how to turn this off. Hold on. Wrong one.